We're live.
Good.
Hey, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
We're here with the lovely and wonderful Angelina from Skybox Creative, and we're so excited to see all of your lovely names in the chat right now.
All
Hey,
over
Angelina.
the world. Yeah, it's so amazing to see everyone from just all over.
I know the fact that we are today announcing the brand new Ultimate Universe Creator right before we went live. Angelina was like, I think the whole universe showed up because there's people from every single place. Like, this is awesome.
We got Egypt.
First of all,
yeah,
there's a ton of places, right? We got Egypt, Somerset, Korea. Can everyone let us know? Can you see and hear us okay in the chat? That's always a good starting point. We just want to make sure everything runs smooth. Birmingham from the UK. I was there recently.
Hello, Anthony, Jeff, Dina, welcome.
Yeah, welcome, guys. This is so cool. Deborah says, yes, by the way, Angelina, because so many people have jumped on, there's a little delay up to 10 seconds. So if you wonder why there's like a delayed reaction in the chat, that's why. It's because you're too popular for your own good. So all the people have shown up. But yeah, seriously, thank you for being here, guys. I think today is going to be a lot of fun. So we're just going to hang around for a few more minutes while so many of you are jumping on. I can see like every few seconds, someone new is joining. So we're going to welcome everyone for a few minutes, and then we're going to talk you through the outline for today. But I'm really excited. I think this is my favorite launch we've ever done.
Oh, that's amazing.
I know I've said that before, but it's like we keep upping our game with each one. And this pack, I just want to shut myself away in my room for a week and just play with the Ultimate Universe Creator because it is so much fun. Like, I just want to create amazing space scenes. This is the stuff I spent most of my youth doing, Angelina. I don't know if you know that. I did a lot of photo manipulation stuff. And so this pack is a dream for me because I used to love making all these like nebulas and cool stuff like that. And now you can do it easier than ever before.
Yeah, definitely. It cuts out hours and days and, took months to create, and it was so much fun. And I'm just so happy because it's just such a time saver for everyone. Yeah,
so I can see already. I mean, we've literally just released this right before we jumped on live. So I would imagine not that many people have it yet. But give us a shout in the comments. Have you seen the pack yet? Have you grabbed it yet? I'm predicting the majority haven't because, like I say, we've just gone live. So I'm so excited to share. I think this is going to be a first look for most of you. And thank you for the kind words. Wayne says, where do I buy it? Don't worry about that, Wayne. We're going to share that in just a moment when we show this thing off. No, not yet, Claire says.
Not yet.
Okay, I think, it's going to be a first look for a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Seen elements. Can I create a Mars video?
From
Mike.
Yes.
Deborah says, not
you
yet.
Can. There are Mars planets included, yes.
Ron says, seen it. Already have some components of it. I promise you don't, Ron, because everything is new in this pack.
Everything
it's like
is
completely new from scratch. Albert's looking at it now and it looks great. Not yet for Svetlana. Sorry, I'm always bad on the names on these calls, guys. Anne says not yet. Claire's excited. Jill's checking it out now.
So the Moon Creator, the Moon Cycle was released, but we added another aspect to it. So now it has the Lightcast version. So the sets that are included here are not included anywhere else.
Yeah, as always, these are completely exclusive for this brand new product. So I'm really excited to see what you guys make with it.
Yeah.
Shall we run through the outline for today, Angelina? I think we've got a good amount of people here right now.
Yeah, feels great.
So we're that's awesome. Mike says, I'm a storyboard artist and I'm ready to begin a sci-fi feature.
Ooh.
Any spaceships? Just you wait, Wayne. There are so many spaceships. I think you're going to like them. Cool. And Tracy said, bought it a few weeks ago. Tracy, I think you're thinking of the other universe pack that Angelina created a while back, which is one of our most popular ever. I promise you, this is like bigger and badder and better. It is just, it's massive and it's all new. So I think if you love the old one, you're going to really love where we've taken this one. Yeah. So in terms of today, guys, we have a fantastic run through. So we're going to show you everything inside this pack in detail, right down to like how the files are and how easy it is to kind of navigate and organize. And then Angelina is actually going to start breaking down some of the stuff that you can create with it. And she's going to do a live demo where you're all going to learn some design tips and tricks to create your own space scenes. And I think there's a range of stuff, right, Angelina? So there's literally like composites, so photo manipulations. There's stuff where it can be used for posters, but there's a ton of different applications.
There's so many different uses. And so I'm going to show how to build a scene layer by layer. And then I'm also going to show how to use the drag and drop features and also the PNGs and just the different ways that you can work with the files and the brushes. So, you know, in the drag and drop, for example, the clouds are white, but with the brushes, you can make any color cloud you want. So we're going to run through all these different cool things that you can do with the set. And I'm excited to dive in.
Yeah, me too. And so after the demo, we're going to be answering all and any questions that you guys have. So if you do have a question, look for the Ask a Question feature just below our video. And if you click that, it will pop out and you can put any questions in there. But we're going to try and get around everyone today. So anything you want to know about the pack, whether you can create a certain type of work or if it supports your software, whatever it might be, we're here and Angelina is here to answer your questions. I can see a couple of people having like audio issues or video issues. It seems like it's working for the absolute majority. Unfortunately, this is like tech gremlins. There always seems to be something for one or two people, no matter what the platform. So we apologize, guys. But I would always say if you jump off and then back on, often that seems to do the trick, and we appreciate your patience.
Thank you, Claire.
Yeah, Claire just said, great to see tutorials. It's so useful because often she buys resources and doesn't know where to start. I think that's really common. We all like tutorials, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, especially when we see the display images and then we're not exactly sure how to recreate them. So yeah, so we're going to show you how those are done.
And not just show you, but show you how easy it is.
How easy it is, yeah.
It really is. It's like you can do stuff in minutes instead of hours. That's the whole purpose of this pack. And so once we've shown off how to do these things and taught you guys some interesting tips and tricks, we're going to do the Q&A, and then we have a fancy competition near the end where you can win $100 worth of Design Cuts credit and get involved in this awesome competition where we're going to be sharing your work with the whole community here. So that should be super fun.
I'm excited about that.
Conrad, if possible, I would love if all questions could go in the Ask a Question bit, just so we can make sure we get back to everyone, because otherwise your question might get lost in the chat. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Cool. Are you ready to reveal all, Angelina?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's go ahead. I'm going to start share my screen.
And by the way, just while we're bringing this up, we appreciate everyone jumping on today so much because we realize how busy we all are as designers. And so we really want to blow you guys away by showing off some very cool stuff today.
Yeah. Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. All right. So here we have the Ultimate Universe Creator. This is the landing page, which we'll give you guys the link to in just a little bit. And so this is a really unique set that includes 6 of these individual packs. And in total, there are over 279 elements, all hand-built, obviously using elements from the NASA satellite images. And then also some of it's just hand-created.
And I love that, by the way, because this is not like Photoshop fakery. These are actually satellite images, real images of planets, spaceships, all kinds of stuff taken from NASA where it's public domain.
Yeah, public domain, and everything is modified. So nothing is, you will never be able to find this from NASA directly. Everything has been custom painted. So there's 26 space backgrounds included, 9 of which are the colorful backgrounds, which I hand painted. And these can be scaled very, very large. There are 10 of the black and white versions, which are really nice to start with like a simple base and then build on top of. And I'll show you how you can work with those as well. The horizon backgrounds are really nice because they're really easy to mask out and use as like a base. And that was also what I used for the main display image. And here's just an example of a stationary branding package I put together using the set and a cell phone case.
Love it. Oh, can you go up for a second? I think I want that case.
Sure. Yeah, a couple people said that.
So if anyone can see, this is so relevant. You can tell I like space stuff. I know my video is like really small down the bottom now, but I'm holding up my phone case. It's like this astronaut and reflected in his kind of glass bit of his helmet is a space scene. And this is exactly the kind of thing. And it's even like the same kind of greeny hues that you're showing off
Oh
here.
my gosh.
I now want to make a custom phone screen for myself using this pack, I think.
Yeah, and these are super high resolution, so they'll print very crisp and beautiful.
Perfect. By the way, if we have SJ on our team on the call, hopefully, could we actually add a button below the video for where people can go and check this out? Because I'd love people to go and have a look.
Yeah, for sure.
Amazing. Thank you. So shiny green button below the video, guys, for anyone who wants to go look themselves.
Awesome. So then we have the moon cycle, and there are two different versions here. So we have the standard, and then we have the light cast version, where you have the halo that you kind of see sometimes when you look up at the night sky. And these are huge. These are over 2,000 pixels wide. So they can look really beautiful in a composition because you can really make them as large as you want. And here are just a couple of examples of the drag and drop elements and building some custom scenes, using the moons and using some of the other elements in the set as well.
This is my favorite section. This is where I feel like a kid at Christmas.
Oh, this one's so fun. You can do so much with these. So this has 35 unique elements, and most of these are also included in brushes as well. So there are galaxies, there are asteroids and shooting stars, and some of these galaxies are over 3,000 pixels wide. So you can just imagine how big these can get and how beautiful these can be in a composition.
Oh, and can we go up just a little bit, Angelina?
Sure,
so, yeah, these are maybe my favorite things. So you actually get shooting stars.
You get shooting stars, meteors.
Like asteroid clusters. It's so nuts. And the one with the flame behind it.
Yeah.
I already see someone like putting that into a scene with dinosaurs or something like that.
Totally. Yeah, and I did actually create a movie poster using that one, which I'll show you guys in just a moment.
Nice.
So you also get the clouds, the space dust, lights, and flares. I mean, you can just build these into any kind of layout that your heart desires. So they're perfect for print and web. Here's a couple of examples for editorial. And then a poster. And I'm going to show you guys how to recreate this scene in just a little bit.
That's so cool. Yeah. I love the colors as well.
Thank you.
Whenever I use these space scenes, I would try and bring them to life. No one just wants to stare at like a bleak black sky. So it's that kind of punchy colors you bring in. Yeah.
The universe is very colorful, and I just enhanced it.
Jason said you must have learned a lot about space in the solar system when creating this.
I did. I learned about all the different moons that surround various planets and different satellites. It was really interesting, actually.
Oh, and Claire said as well, as an ex-teacher, I think this would be great for use in schools, combining art with science. I hadn't even thought of that. That is so, so true. And this is great, by the way, guys. Like, do keep the feedback coming. So whatever your first thoughts are at this first reveal, let us know what you're thinking. Like, how are you planning to use this?
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, and even the Ultimate Universe bundle, the one we launched in the past, was used in educational systems. So I can see that for this one too.
Yeah, totally.
And so this one is one of the biggest sets. This has 94 Illustrator files and PNG files. And so this is the Platonic solids. And for anyone who's familiar with sacred geometry, these are the 5 basic forms of all of creation. And so that's why I included these in the set. And it has the names along with the element that it represents. And that way you can bring some vector artwork into your designs as well. And all 88 of the star groups are included. So all the constellations. And I just displayed the zodiac signs here so that you can see them up close and see the details.
I don't know what it is. I feel like every time I open Instagram right now, I'm seeing stuff about the zodiac.
Oh, maybe I know, everywhere.
My phone was listening to me, but it seems like a real trend right now. And so I can see a ton of people using these for like social graphics and stuff.
Social graphics, book covers. I've been seeing them all over when I go to the stores and go shopping. So it's definitely really big right now.
Someone else mentioned as well, they feel like space is just never going to go out of style. I don't know what it is. Yeah, there's some trends that seem really fleeting, but for the last 20 years that I've been dabbling in design and doing design, it seems like it's always been popular. There's always something kind of beautiful about it, I think.
I think it helps us gain some perspective of our position in the universe and just how grand it all is. So I hope that it stays because Yeah, it keeps that sense of wonder, even though we're here on this planet, you know, we're in such a vast system. So
100%.
yeah. So it also comes with the Zodiac Wheel, which you can easily just copy paste into any document or modify. And so it's great for large scale graphics and composites. You could do presentations with this, as Claire mentioned, for education or for anything really, for branding. You can really easily create custom social media graphics. So this was a composite that I built from scratch as well. And I'm going to show you guys how I put this together too. And just starting with a plain blue screen.
I kind of want to rebrand everything as space now. You're going to go on Design Cuts next week. It'll be like the space site.
Oh, that's great.
I love this.
I would love
it. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the look of this so far, just put me in the comments. I want to see who's digging the space right now.
And so also included are 30 planets, which are very high res, and they come in multiple different lighting scenarios. So this one is the side lit version where you can see all the planets here. But each one also comes fully lit and then in shadow. And then in the fully lit, you also get the sun, which you don't see here, but it's also included in the set. So and cool. Some of these are up to 3,000 pixels across. So they're huge, huge, huge.
I can see a ton of people shouting me right now. A lot of space fans in the comments.
Oh, so good.
The comments just exploded.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I can see everyone. Hey, Laura, Elizabeth, Vivian, Skanda, and Sharon.
Amazing.
Sophia. Oh,
So,
I love this.
So here are a couple movie posters I put together very, very quickly. These are just a few elements that I was able to drag and drop. I just put a gradient map over this one, and you can create something beautiful in minutes.
I love that asteroid one. And this is one of my favorites.
Yeah. So it's really great for movie posters.
That's so cool.
And then the aircraft comes with 12 perfectly isolated. I zoomed in on these things and made sure it was as perfect as possible.
Was it quite a precise process to extract
them?
It
was a process. And then also every NASA label has to be removed and stuff like that. So, if you were to find one of these astronauts by yourself, it could take you up to 2 hours to actually perfectly remove all the logos and to perfectly outline it. So it's just so great to be able to drag it and just put it right in your canvas.
How many clicks in Photoshop are we thinking? Was it 1,000?
I don't even know. It was quite the process, but once it was done, it was so fun because I could build the composites and build the display images, which is what I love as a designer. So it was super fun.
Steve just said, love it, already bought it. I mean, look at that guy.
Thank you, Steve.
Look at the depth on that guy and like how sharp and high res it is. That's so cool.
And I took his face out, so there's no issues with that. And the clouds that can be placed huge. You can just see how vast these things can be. Most of these are really, really high res, as high res as I could find them.
Yeah, because I can't find any stock imagery for this kind of stuff. If you go on Unsplash or somewhere like that, you just can't really get good space imagery.
No.
And so the fact these are like so sharp and so high res, this is the kind of imagery you'd be paying hundreds of dollars for a photo on iStock or somewhere like that. And so to get it all included in this pack and extracted, it's nuts, the value on offer.
And you can find this astronaut sometimes, but it's always flattened with its background. So it's not really good for creating your own designs.
So yes, Lofty said, I'll put my own face in it. In the helmet.
Oh, great.
I want to
Send
see
it
that.
to us. Hashtag us so we can see it.
You have to do that as part of the competition at the end.
Oh, that'd be great. And then here I just created a branding mock-up, some business cards, and a website just so you guys can get a sense of what you can create using the different elements. And all these elements were included within the set.
You know what I love there, though, is the fact you pulled the brand through everything.
Yeah.
So this is not something where it's like, it's really cool, but only for poster design. Like this shows how you can transfer it from social graphics. It could be like podcast artwork, website headers, business cards. It's pretty ubiquitous, right? With where it works.
The number of uses is really infinite. And even this logo here that I made for the brand itself was extracted from this platonic solid. I just took some of the elements out and change the stroke width, and there you go. You have a logo as well. So it's a
really
lot you can do. Yeah.
Would you say that the uses were perhaps universal, Angelina? I'm sorry for all the design cutters there. They know I have to get a dad joke in every single call.
Of course. That's great. Yeah, so you get all these 6 design sets in one set, backgrounds, planets, moons, galaxies, and you can use these with Adobe, but you can also use them with Canva, which is really nice because not everybody wants to use Adobe all the time, and some people might feel a little stuck in that platform. So there are other photo manipulation tools that are really simple to use, and the PNGs and the JPEGs can be used in any program. The ABR files are the brushes, and those are just for Photoshop. And I created them.
Mike just said about support for motion graphics. I can see you've got After Effects there, so I guess it would.
Oh yeah. After Effects. So in the entire Adobe suite, it really can work with. And then with regards to the brushes, I was just mentioning that I created them in Photoshop CC. And I believe that they can still be opened and used in legacy formats. I think there are just limitations prior to CS5, but I believe CS6 and above are perfectly fine.
Amazing.
So that's it. That's the basic run through of the display images and the landing page.
Just like hundreds and hundreds of variations.
Hundreds and hundreds of things to use. I just want to show you guys really quick how the files are set up, just so you know what to expect once you download the files. So you have a thank you file, and in here I have a freebie offer for a bundle that I'm giving away. So look for that. And there's these Photoshop brushes. You can easily install those. I'll just run through a couple of these folders. So in the space backgrounds, we have the black and white, the colorful, and the horizons, which are all JPEGs and really easy to work with. Then we have the vector folders. And so within these two, you get the AI and the EPS, and then all the PNGs, including the Zodiac Wheel, which is also PNG. Same thing goes for the geometry set. We got AI, EPS, and then the PNGs. And then in the elements folder, you'll see that we have these are the drag and drop canvases. So for those of you who prefer a drag and drop workflow, you can just open these up and visualize everything at once, which is really nice, rather than going to the PNGs where they're one by one. So it just depends on how you prefer to work. But these are all included here. And then the PNGs are all included here by folder, all really well organized.
Angelina, because for me, I actually love the PNG because it's so simple. You literally click on it and drag it straight in.
I love the PNGs, and I also love the brushes, which I'm really excited to show you guys how to use. Excuse me, my throat's recovering here. But all the rest
Angelina
of them.
Was sick recently, so we will appreciate you
bear with me. Yeah. The rest of these are the same. So they each have the drag and drop canvases, and then the PNGs within aircraft, planets, and all of that. So that's the set.
She just arrived late. It looks great. Will there be a replay or tutorial? You're right on time, Angie, because we are about to get into the tutorial.
Yeah.
Anne says she loves the organization. I completely agree. Angelina, you know how fussy our team are with like keeping the files nicely organized. So you are a dream to work with. Like it's just it couldn't be more logical.
Well, I love organization. It's one of my skill sets. Awesome. Okay, well, do you want me to just go into the tutorial?
Yeah, let's jump right in. I think everyone's excited to learn.
Absolutely. My favorite part. Okay. So first, what we're going to do, I'm going to show you guys how to go from here, which is one of the backgrounds, cropped out, and how I was able to create this scene in a couple minutes. And then next, I'm going to show you how to go from here to here.
That's so cool.
And we'll build that layer by layer, and then we'll do a couple more quick ones. So we'll start here. So this is one of the backgrounds that's included. I felt it was a little bit bright, so I used an adjustment layer to desaturate it a little bit. That way the elements could really pop on top. And then I took one of the other backgrounds and I painted it in by just masking out a little piece of the blue, as you can see here. And then I brought in this.
With that, by the look of it, with the blue, you applied a black fill to your mask. So you hid the entire thing, and then you painted back in with the white just to get that arc in the bottom corner.
And I do that a lot. You know, I bring elements in and then I just put an entire black mask on so that you can't see anything. And then I start to use the brush to paint elements back in. That way you have a lot of control over what you see and reveal. So I really love that workflow.
Yeah, me too. And when I used to do a lot of this work, it would be very subtle. So it would be a lot of layers, like very gradually building up. And I found it always gave more depth doing it that way. Instead of just like slap on a background, put something over it. You can really have fun like combining backgrounds like that.
Yeah. And when we go into, I'm going to actually show you guys how to use the brushes. Then I'll show you how I use the masks in a really unique way, using the galaxy brushes themselves to brush away parts of the galaxy. So it's a really cool way that technique that I use to build the backgrounds. Amazing. So the swirling galaxy, I just wanted a piece of it in here because there were some other really dominant elements in here. So let me pop on the Saturn. So the Saturn I dragged over, this one was the side lit version, and I just put it on the screen. So when you first drag it over, it'll look like that. So don't be surprised if you're like, hey, this doesn't look like the demo. Well, you just have to play with blending modes. Really, that's where you're going to get the looks that tend to emerge better. So that original look could be nice on a black background or something like that. But
and with the blend modes, try a bunch, right? Because
try a bunch. You never know.
Like
Sometimes you find a cool one that you don't usually use, but it works really well.
I used to love overlay for some reason.
Oh, I used to love overlay. Me too.
Really
It's like my favorite. Yeah, all the time. So this one, Cumulus Clouds, I just dragged this one over from the drag and drop canvas, but this one is also a brush. So you can brush this cloud in any color. It's so fun. I really love getting creative with some of these elements and doing things in like a funky way. Let's see. So we have some space dust. So if you guys can see, it's just a really subtle halo over here. And I brushed, you can see I have a mask on that. Where you just see part of it, and it's on soft light. So if I go to normal, you'll see it's just white. So when I go to soft light, it just brightens it up a little bit on the edge, but in a way that's organic, that really flows with the scene, rather than just brushing it with like a...
Yeah, like all these subtle things really, really build it up. And
it really does.
Claire just said, wow, that looks good using blending mode. I'm noting this down.
Yes.
Definitely, Claire. I can't wait to see what you play with and what you come up with.
And then here is the long-tail comet. And I just want to open up this folder really quick to show you guys. So this is, some of these have layers within the folders because you can actually turn it on and off if you want. This has like the color piece, and this is just the base layer of just the white. So it just gives it a nice little glow.
I wouldn't even know where you started with extracting some of these, because this is different from something with like a hard edge. It must have taken a lot of like masking work and extracting work.
It was, so yeah, I had to find the comets themselves in the highest possible resolution and then essentially find it with no background or interference or stars or anything. Or if it did have stars, I had to paint them away. And then I created a brush from it, and then I painted in the colored layers. So it was definitely a process to build them, but it was really fun because it was kind of like, how can I do this and make it so that it can go in any background? You know, you can't do that with a photo by itself. You have to actually create your own element. So that was really, really fun. And then, so the moon, as you'll see, this is the light cast version. So you can always turn these on and off if you do decide to work with this set of this version, of the set. You know, you can always turn it on and off too to play and see what you prefer. And then lastly, I added these shooting stars, but you'll notice I have a mask here too. If I toss this, you'll see that this was the cluster that had 5, but it was a bit much. So what I did was I just masked out 2 of them. And then that way it was just a more subtle look. And then here's the final composition.
Stunning. And I love the colors.
Thank you.
And the fact is, like, there's been minimal tweaking here.
Yeah.
Which is great. I would say more playing than tweaking. So it's not like nothing really worked and you had to customize the hell out of it. Now you've essentially just played with blend modes and the occasional bit of masking, and just, it's more positioning. It's more like building blocks just to build the scene in minutes, right?
Yeah, definitely. It was quick. It was very quick. And really, I feel that when you are using the colored backgrounds, either cropping them where there's some nice unique color, or if, like in this case, some of the other colors got cropped off, it is nice to bring in another, like the blue here. So there's so much you can do with the backgrounds. You can really build it however you see fit.
Did you ever do it? We were talking about overlay, where you get a scene like that, and then you get a giant soft brush or something like the Space Dust, but with like a complementary, really bright color, and then set that to overlay, and that's like a little light leak of, if it's purple, it could be leaking green into the side, and that can work really well.
That can work really well. Yeah. So when I build the backgrounds, I use a combination of Galaxy brushes, which are included in the set, and then I also use really soft edge brushes. You just have to be careful when you use the soft edge brushes, just the circle, to paint in the middle. And then that way it doesn't cut off any of the edges. And then you can scale it up and down as you see fit. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah.
Paul had a really good, kind of more scientific comment and said, just remember, no stars should be visible on the dark side of the moon. Which is true. So if we're going for accuracy instead of artistic license, then Paul is.
Yeah, then you got to paint away. Yeah. But I think I actually painted them away. I'm pretty good at stuff like that. So yeah, you can just always get rid of the stars behind there too.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and I can actually show you how to do that really quick, just in case any of you are curious how to remove a star. So I just take the patch tool and I go onto the background layer, as long as it's not a smart object and it's rasterized. Let's say you want to get rid of this star, you just drag it over to an area where there's no star. So if you have a headline or something like that and there's stars behind it, a lot of times I'll take those stars out just so it's not distracting from the type. So it's a nice way to work with it. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to move over to this one and show you guys how I built this. So I started with just a blue square, and it was flat, but it was a nice blue that I wanted to start building with. So I just added a little bit of dimensions, just using some soft Photoshop brushes, like we mentioned previously. And next, I just painted these in with one of the brushes included in the set. So I just used white and created a layer of stars. And then again, I used the Space Dust brush to just bring in a little dust. And this is what Jupiter looked like when I first brought it in. So this is part of the reason I wanted to show you guys this one. It's really cool to play with gradient maps. So this particular gradient map, for those of you who don't know, if you just click on the Option or Alt key and you're hovering in between the layers, you can make sure that it only applies to the layer that's right below it. And you can see that this is the gradient map that I used. And so I have 4 different colors. And these can all be modified, right? Like you can actually customize this within the map itself so that you can get a different look. And so I'll just cancel that. But
I love how bold it is as well. Like gradient maps are great for adding that punch.
Really good, especially for the planets, because sometimes, they're directly from the satellites. So it might not always merge with the background, but you can do a lot. You can play with blending modes. You can do gradient maps. You can even do black and white, and just like really let that contrast shine. So there's so much that you can do with that. So then I brought in the moon. And again, this one wasn't quite going with the scene that well. So I just popped this gradient map layer over it. And it's the same exact one. So I just actually copied it up here. And originally it looked like that. And it was nice, but it was too much. It matched too much. So I just brought it down to about 50%. And then that's how you can get it to look really nice. And then the astronaut is here. So I just dragged him over. And then at first it looks like that. So what I did was I have this pink astronaut layer. So I just have a couple of adjustment layers. It just popped on hue saturation. I just dragged it across in some levels and just modified this a bit. So I just dragged in the blacks to create a little more contrast. So this astronaut is at 100% looks like this. So I often do this where I ended up liking it around the 66%, I think it was. That way you can see the before and after. It merges them together. So that way it's not too pink, but it's not too stark and doesn't belong.
I love it.
And then
just a quick tip in terms of anyone who's interested in this kind of compositing and photo manipulation. I call it the trial and error approach, because that is always how I would do it. So you add something, and then let's say you add an adjustment layer or you're playing with opacity. There is no one size fits all. So for me, it would literally just be like sliding it up and down and using my eye to be like, what looks better? And it's just doing that over and over again. So the same way Angelina's like settling on 66%, and then she's playing with like the level slider, it really is just like little tweaks. And then you can change it again, and you can do the command Z. So you undo, redo, undo, redo. And I would always just do that endlessly, being like, which one looks slightly better? And there's barely any difference. But when you do that like hundreds of times with all the different steps of building it up, then it gradually kind of creeps in the right direction.
And and I tilt my head a lot. My husband always laughs at me because I'm always going back and forth, I'm trying to see it from another angle. And then I just built
the way that, Angelina.
Yeah, I do. And I just zoom through these things pretty quickly. I've been doing this for quite a while. So with opacity, I'm just sliding it up and down, and I'm just kind of like eyeballing it, and then I'm bouncing around in the history palette and going back and forth between what I did before, just kind of comparing. So sometimes what I like to do too, if I'm really not sure which looks better, I'll save 2 versions. And then I will look at them outside of Photoshop and compare the 2, and then say, oh, okay, this one's definitely better. And then I just trash the other file so I can move on and then keep moving forward from there. So it's a nice little trick. Yeah. And then the shadow I just built by, if you hold over the command key on Apple and you click on the layer, you can select the astronaut. So then I just created a new layer. I filled it with black. And then I just went to transform. And then I used the skew tool. And then I just pulled his shadow outside of the canvas and then blurred it a bit. So you can notice here the shadow layers on 73%. And then I just used a tiny little bit of a mask to fade the edge so it wasn't too harsh all the way across. So super simple composite. Yeah, super easy to build.
Everyone, leave a quick comment. If this is helpful in terms of showing you some of the stuff you can build, just leave a quick comment saying yes. I want to see who's tuning in here and ready to make their own stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, me too. And then I'll just show you guys how I was able to create this one and how I was able to, this is just a very, very simple one. And then I'll show you guys how to build something from scratch. Okay, so here is pretty simple. This was the start, and I'm going to hide the background. Oh, yeah. So this is the mask. So I just pulled the girl out. In Photoshop, it's really nice because you can use the quick selection tool. When I started in Photoshop, we didn't have this stuff. So it's so easy now to just highlight something, by just kind of hovering over like this. Then there's just a matter of fine tuning the hair and stuff like that. But it didn't take very long at all. So I put the girl on its own layer, and then you have the moon or whatever element you want. And you can just drag it wherever you want, because now she's on her own layer. And it's just really fun because you just get to play.
It's really cool.
Yeah. And then the constellations, one of the things I noticed about Photoshop, I just have two folders. I just duplicated the folder. I noticed that when I copy and paste vector artwork into Photoshop, sometimes the lines are a little bit hard to see. So the way that I combat that issue is I just duplicate the file sometimes, the folder or the file itself. And then it bolds it a little bit. So if I were to keep copying this and copying this like this, they'll get bolder and bolder. So that's one way to do it if you don't want to go back to the original Illustrator file and manipulate the stroke. So just keep that in mind.
Good tip. And Anne just said Photoshop has come a long way since version 3 where she started.
Oh my
Angelina,
gosh.
do you remember which one you started with? I actually had Paint Shop Pro,
Oh, wow.
6 or 7 before Photoshop.
Wow, I didn't
and then
have
I made
that.
the jump.
That's
It wasn't
awesome.
that good. It was like a worse version of Photoshop.
Yeah, I think it was 3. I think I was on version 3. But I was in the days, I was back in the days where you couldn't do other things while your file was saving. So, and we would have these massive Photoshop documents. So we would have to leave and go make coffee and come back, because it was like 10 minutes to save. So
I think I
you guys
that.
are lucky for those of you who haven't been in it that long.
Sonia remembers Paint Shop Pro.
Okay, so these are the black and white. I'm just gonna jump right in. So I'm gonna open this one because it's really simple, just some really faint stars in the background, which is really nice to build on. you'll see if I go to image size, this one is over 5,000. It's almost 5,500 pixels, which is really large. So I'm going to take this down to 3,000 just to make it a little bit more of a size that people probably work with, unless you're doing large format printing. And then let's do a little bit of drag and drop. So
Amazing.
here I have the moon cycle. So the way that I like to work with Photoshop is I just right click and then it pulls you right to the layer. That way you don't have to sift through all the layers. You can just drag them from the tabs. I know some people have their canvases side by side. You can do that too, whatever works for you. But if you do drag it up to the tab, it's super easy. And then you can just scale it. You can see how big this is. This is a 3,000 pixel canvas. So this is really big. These moons can be just beautiful and take up the whole canvas if you wanted. All right, so starting there, let's grab another element. Now, this little galaxy looks really small, but it's not small at all. So let me just show you. So if I right click, I can select this galaxy. Each one does have the label. You'll notice the last layer here, you can just hide that. And I'm just going to drag this over. So you can see how large this is.
It took me forever to realize that you could do this drag over, by the way.
Oh, so yeah, you just go up to the tab and down.
Yeah, it's so useful for years. I think I hadn't figured that out. And so I would try and copy it over and I'd lose a bunch of stuff in the process.
Oh, no.
The dark years.
And I maintain these layers too, so that if you guys just want to see how they're built, or if you want to modify anything independently, all the layers are still intact for the colorful galaxies. So you can just kind of get a sense of what it is to work with these. And so I'm going to show you guys how to work with the brushes because these are really fun. It's one of my favorite things, actually. I know not everyone's into the stamp brushes, but the effects you can get are really phenomenal. So you can see how large this is. It's massive, right? So what I do is I use the brackets, the left bracket on your keyboard. I'm on a Mac. Will make the brush smaller, and the one on the right will make it larger. So I have this blue color here selected, and you just stamp wherever you want, and you can see what kind of an effect you can get, right? So it doesn't have to be white clouds. You can do whatever you want. And then I'll also show you with the stars, for example, instead of white, you can make them yellow or something like that. Right, so you can actually create these however you like. So one thing to notice,
people are going to build huge scenes. This is fantastic, and this is obviously a very quick demo, but I mean, excuse the pun, I think literally the sky is the limit, right? Because you could build an entire, well, it's not a landscape, I guess it would be a spacescape. You could build an entire spacescape. It could be like something out of the movie Gravity, where it was like comets flying, astronauts coming through all the chaos, spaceships colliding, planets in the background. Like, I think literally the imagination people are going to have using this is going to be incredible.
Totally, yeah. And so please don't mind this composition, just showing you guys how, how you can use the brushes and the assets. Yeah, so this is the asteroid one that I used in the poster, and you can just build it in any color that you want. Yeah. So
that is so cool.
That is the basics of the brushes. Oh, let me show you one more trick that I use that's very, very cool. So let's say we wanted to build a colorful universe. Let me just make this a blue, pop this on top and just see. Okay, so we'll do soft light. So you can see blending modes are a really powerful way to work with the backgrounds, just to get some color in there. So one of the ways you can work with the galaxies, for example, you can see how large this one is. I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to paint this in. You can see what that looks like. Now you can drag it wherever you want on the canvas. But now what I like to do with masks is put a mask on and then go to the brushes, and then you can take another galaxy brush, and you can actually paint, as long as you have black on top here, right? You can paint some of it away, and it's organic lines. So I really work with this quite a bit, because otherwise it can be really obvious if you're using like a fade brush. So this is how I'm building these backgrounds.
Fade, right?
You don't want a clean fade on these, you know, and then you could still rotate it or do whatever you want. But that's how I create them layer by layer.
Yeah. I think that's one of the most beautiful things I've seen so far with that blue brush on the blue. That's really nice. It almost looks like underwater or something.
You can do so much with these. You know, there's just a ton of different brushes. If you want to see one of the other ones.
Loving the brush. And Merch Money says, great video. Will it be available afterwards? Because they missed the first 30 minutes. It will be. So yeah, keep watching because we've got the live competition, everyone. But if you did miss any of the start, you can definitely go back.
Yeah, so just to give you guys a sense of some of the different brushes.
Oh, wow.
And you can build on these.
That's even better. I'm sorry, I feel like a child right now. I want to play with this.
So here's another cool tip too. So I just brushed this one in. So if you use the command key and you just hover over, you can actually select the exact pixels. You can create another layer on top of it. And then you can actually paint in, this is how I was building some of them as well. You can paint in something like this, and then you can actually play with the blending modes because now they're layered on top of each other. And then sometimes you can get like a cool effect. And then you could paint a piece of it away. So I'll just show you quickly. In this case, I'm actually going to use a regular big feathered brush.
The comments have just started exploding a bit, by the way. Everyone's
yeah,
loving
so this is, oh, great. So this is how
these brushes, I need to get my hands on this.
Yeah, the brushes for me are my favorite part because this is actually how I built out the galaxies. So see how I'm painting it back in? This is how it looks normally. And then you can really build some dimensionality by just building and layering and masking.
Can we zoom in on this? Just one more?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that is so incredible.
So
Svenja just said, I think this is my favorite thing that you've shown so far.
Oh, like, great. Well, I'm glad I did this.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Is there anything else you'd like me to demo?
Could you just play with the pack for the next like 9 hours or something while we all just watch? We can go make cups of tea and just kind of watch you do more of this stuff. Yeah, Danny just said this is amazing. It's really mesmerizing. I mean, we do have to get to Q&A in just a second. Could you make one more, please? Just because I'm really enjoying this bit, and I think everyone is.
Yeah, let me just drag this one slightly off the canvas here so we have some space. Okay. All right, let's grab another one. So many brushes. Okay, let's do, which one would be good?
In all my years of doing space photo manipulation, I never did the effect that you just showed in that exact way. I wish I had, because that
let's try another color. Yeah.
Bill just said, holy crap, I need someone to order a sci-fi book cover so I can play away.
How fun. I hope so. I hope that happens for you. Okay, so I'm going to start with a white base here. Then I'll select this. I'm going to add another layer. And this one, I'll just fill it with let's play with like a green or something.
Angelina, just while I've got you, we're putting out more and more amazing tutorials on our blog. Would you be able to do a short tutorial showing what you just showed, but in like maybe a quick written format? Because we'd love to share that with our community in the Learn section.
Absolutely. I love teaching. I used to be a teacher's assistant. I'd be happy.
Yeah. Thank you. If any of the Design Cuts team watching could make a note of that, we'd love to get this on the blog as well.
So I was just playing with the green, and then, if you wanted to layer in, let's say I'm just selecting this again, pixels, maybe we can add in like a yellow.
Oh, well, Jason H just said, we make a lot of conference opener videos and clients often like to start with the universe and space. So this is going to be an absolute winner for us.
Oh, so good.
Love.
So good. So I'm just kind of masking a little bit here. So what I would do with this one then would be to reduce, let me hide
There's so many layers.
I can see what they are. Then I would just kind of reduce the yellow a little bit, and if you just play a little bit, then it just gets better and better. So it's really just about like playing with the brush size too. So I'm like, what I did on this one was I just painted in black. So now I'm just kind of painting some of the yellow back in with the white brush.
Love it. David just asked, is there an overlap between the Ultimate Universe Creator and the Ultimate Universe Bundle? I'm going to let you take this one, Angelina.
Only the part of the moon cycle.
Yeah, like a tiny part of it.
We added a new Lightcast version, but that's the only thing. Everything else is brand new from scratch. So even the constellations are completely new. The backgrounds are completely new. And this one just has so much more because it has the black backgrounds, which actually we started with here. So as you can see, you can even create those in color. Yeah, but this one has so much more because it has the horizon lines. It has
spaceships,
planets,
asteroids, planets, nebulas.
Yeah, you know, everything you can
we
imagine.
we literally I mean, you guys should know by now, whenever we do an exclusive Design Cuts product, we push it as far as it can go. It's never like a kind of like nice little product. We always like to try and make it super comprehensive. So we had an early brainstorm with Angelina, and it was the most fun call ever because it was like, what's every space related thing that we can think of? And I'm sure hopefully like sorry, go ahead.
Tom had a lot of ideas. Oh no, it's just he was like, what about this? What about this? I was like, yeah, let's do it.
So did you though. And then you went and built it, which is amazing. And I think more and more of these packs that we're doing that are exclusive products, obviously only available through Design Cuts, we're starting to expand them based on user feedback. So I've seen a couple of comments already where someone's like, can we get like a Mars rover vehicle and that kind of thing? So who knows? I mean, keep the suggestions coming in.
Yeah,
exactly. But I think pretty much most bases should be covered because there's so much in this thing.
Yep, so much here.
Love it. Are you ready for some Q&A?
Totally. Should I stop sharing my screen now?
Yeah. Let's jump back and be full screen.
Full screen. Here we go.
Hey, welcome back.
Hey.
So first of all, can everyone just leave a quick comment saying, thanks to Angelina, really, because that was incredible. And thank you so much for teaching.
Of course.
It was great. I'm out back today, so I've got a bit of privacy, but normally I'll do like a big round of applause with me and the rest of the team. But Jeff said, this is ground control to Major Tom. Stop drooling. I can't help it. I really like this tag. It's my favorite.
Both. Should we buy both?
I mean, why not? If you're talking both means the other universe pack. Yeah, I mean, the first universe pack was literally one of our biggest sellers, super popular. Tons of people benefited from it. I personally, like, not hating on that pack. It's one of my favorites ever. I think this one actually blows it out of the water in terms of just how much stuff is in it.
It took, 3 times as long.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Look at all this amazing feedback. So you didn't get to see this when you're sharing the screen.
I know. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I'm going to jump into some of the questions. We've got about 30 minutes left. So we're going to fly through some questions. I'm going to let you know how long this intro discount's available for, because I definitely recommend grabbing the pack while you can before the price goes up. And we're going to have our competition at the end. So we might need to do kind of quick fire because we just got lost there in nebula brushes.
Yes, of course.
But yeah, look at this. JJ says, love everything.
You guys are great.
Cool. Yeah. We appreciate you guys. Okay, so I'm going to fly through here, Angelina. Conrad says, it looks great. Is it big enough to use for higher sizes than A4 and A3 with 300 DPI?
A4 and A3 is, we don't always use that in, yes. These can be large format.
Yeah, and even if
I believe that's just larger than a letter size, correct?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
at
they should be
DPI,
fine.
yes.
Yeah, they're super high res, and I know obviously it's never good to like destructively enlarge them, but there are limits. So some things you can like enlarge a little bit beyond their regular size, and it looks fine. Yes. It's where you like increase it by 500%, and it becomes quality.
Yeah, I've heard that 120% is the max that you should go on an image once it's dragged in. So yes, and at 300 DPI. These will work well. And then in terms of large format printing, you only need them to be 100 DPI because large format printers actually use a different process. So Amazing. Just to keep that in mind as well.
Cool. Tracy is asking if the builder bundle applies. That applies to everything in the marketplace. So yes, you get the intro discount, but if you want to go and get a bunch of stuff from Angelina's store as well, which we recommend because she makes great stuff, then you will be able to save because, as always, the more you buy, the more you save at Design Cuts. So Jay says, does the license allow us to use the space backgrounds and additional elements in illustration work, e.g. backgrounds, clothing, textures on characters, book illustration covers, stock illustration, etc. So hope you don't mind if I answer this one from a licensing perspective,
Yes,
Angelina.
yes.
So as always, yes, you can use it for stuff that's like commercial use and so on. Due to our extended license, it needs to be part of a new and original piece of work. So the things you can't do is just take Angelina's work and redistribute it. And equally, you can't do that as part of a digital resource. So if you made your own space pack and used elements of this, that's a no-no. Likewise with stock photography and so on. But if you are making something like a website for a client or some merch or whatever it might be, as long as it's not literally just there on its own and you're creating something with it. Our team's talking there. It's hot off the press. That hasn't been in any previous bundles as well. So I hope that answers the licensing question. Mario just says, "Hi, Angelina." It's not a question for Mario. It's just being friendly.
Hi, Mario.
Cool. CS Lofty was asking about the swirling nebula, but you very kindly answered that in the demo, and he said thanks a lot. That's great. Do you think they can also be used for scientific purposes? Laura asks.
Absolutely. Yes. And that was one of the reasons I created the editorial spread. These are created directly from the actual universe elements. So the specific galaxies, and that's why I included the labels too. So that way you guys know which ones they are in case they do need to be used for scientific purposes.
Amazing. And Tracy was asking, she just bought it a few weeks ago. Has anything changed? That would be the other universe pack that Angelina released. And as we've kind of covered today, this is all new, way more extensive, and much more of a kind of create your own scene building blocks pack, whereas the other one didn't have nearly as many elements in.
Yeah.
Michael just bought it as well.
Amazing. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Michael. Russ says, it turns out I already have the Ultimate Universe bundle. Russ, I promise you, this one is like a new level. Highly recommend. And especially if any of you guys have that original pack, if you enjoy it, definitely recommend getting this one because it will really take your work to new heights. Anthony says, how accurate did you try to make it? Any NASA and other space agencies inspiration?
Yes. So everything is derived from NASA and modified as well. So nothing is as you would find it on the web by itself. Everything has been modified to be unique. But it's all accurate from space. The planets are actually from space. So
yeah, these are not like some CGI knockoff
rendering. Yeah, so that's what's so cool about it, and also that you have the different lighting effects. So it does have that 3D look and feel, but it's the actual planet. So it's really nice.
It's so cool. I feel like every space geek on Earth needs to see this because I always liked space. Like even before design, growing up, I'd kind of be looking up a lot and be like, "Wow, think of what's out there." So
I know.
Kind of
So big.
Spenya says, can't do the maths. If I wanted to put one of the moons really big on a wall, how big could I do that?
That's going to depend on the printer.
And on the wall, I'd imagine.
And on the wall. Yeah. Typically, as I mentioned, 100 DPI is the standard for large format printing. And then you can typically go up to 120% of the original size. So I would set up the canvas, talk to the printer, and then you could create the files from there. Amazing. Or just send them the PNG and then ask the printer how large they could do it. But cool. Fairly large for sure.
Jay just said she nagged her family for a DC voucher as her birthday gift, which is really sweet. Thank you for that. And she got it, so she's going to be using it to buy this pack tomorrow. And happy birthday if your birthday was recently. Happy birthday. Colin Isaac said, can you use them in Affinity Designer without issues?
Oh, sorry. I saw another question in there. Can you use them with Affinity? I'm not familiar with Affinity Designer, but the JPEGs and the PNG files can be used in any image editing program. So I would assume yes.
I think definitely. We're actually doing more and more work, including a very cool partnership with Affinity, which we're excited to share. But yeah, definitely like PNGs and things of that nature, i.e. the majority of the pack will be absolutely fine. So yeah, the only bit I wouldn't be sure about would be the Photoshop brushes. But
Yes, exactly.
all of those things are available in PNG formats. So yeah, you'll be able to do everything that you saw here today. Yeah, little sneak peek there with the Affinity partnership. Cool. So Heather's just asking in the live chat. She just bought it. Thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
And on the download page, there's 2 downloads. That's because we like to keep our downloads like reasonable. If it's 3.5 gig, it's kind of massive. So the download has simply been split to allow people to download it from all over the world. So if you download both, you will get everything.
Yeah.
And Mike says the brushes will translate over. So yeah, good news if you're on Affinity. Jason just said, awesome. Downloading now with a bunch of cool. I didn't even know you could leave emojis on this chat.
I love
In fact,
it.
can we see everyone's face emojis quickly? I want to see how many there are.
Oh, right.
Perfect. So Russ said, will the webinar be available as a recording? Yes, it will. So if you missed the start, definitely rewatch that and check it out because Angelina shared a ton of value. But if you are on right now, definitely stay tuned because we have the competition, which we're going to shout about as well. Can the Photoshop brushes be used in Photoshop Elements, Angelina?
I'm not 100% sure on that. I would assume so.
I also think so. From our experience, I'd be pretty sure. But if you have any issues as well, you guys know we've got the greatest support team in the world. They care about you guys. They look after you guys. So any like questions or issues after this call, our team is here like to hold your hand and guide you through the whole thing.
And just to also note, Adobe CC, they typically do a 30-day trial program. So if you wanted to try it out and maybe keep the membership, it's I think $9.99 a month. So there's always that option if you don't have it yet. You can play with it as well.
Perfect. Mike says, how long did all of this take you to put together?
Probably 2.5 months. Just all the different assets.
Yeah.
Building everything out, with breaks in between and some other projects. But yeah, it took a couple months.
This is what I love. The fact that you can get this thing for $16 now. And in this modern day and age, that's like 3 coffees at Starbucks or like a cocktail in London or something. So,
a cocktail. That better be a good cocktail.
I think that's normal these days, unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
But seriously, for the cost of 1 drink, you can get what has taken experienced professional in Angelina 2.5 months of labor putting this thing together. So it is just the ultimate value. It's the ultimate time saver. And not even putting it together, but if you had to build a quick scene, I remember this stuff taking me days and days and days and days. It took forever. And it was fun.
It could take
I wish I had something like this. It would be minutes, not hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Svenja says, will it make the file smaller if I stamp a cloud brush instead of using the PNG image? I think it would, right?
I can't say for sure, but I think it would be the same actually. Because the clouds are only 1 layer. If you're talking about the galaxies, those ones are built in multiple layers. So I think that would increase the file size if you drag and drop a galaxy versus painting. But I believe with the clouds, it could be the same.
Okay. And then Stephen said that he saw the bundle on your website listed for $1,000. Was that a mistake?
Oh, I was just testing on there, so it's not for sale on mine yet. Don't tell Tom. No, I'm going to take it off. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't even know it was live.
Exposed by Stephen. She's been making thousands on this pack immediately. Although I think it's probably worth $1,000. So
it is actually worth $1,000.
Yeah.
But we missed a question from Jeff here. He said, "Do the astronaut images meet NASA's identifiable person requirements?" Yes. So I masked out all of the faces and all of the NASA logos. So we can have the American flag symbol, but it can't have NASA. So yes, everything is cleared.
Thank you. Have we got any others? Sorry to miss that, Jeff. I I think that is the majority of the
There was
question.
one about a font. Let me see.
Oh, yeah, hold on. I think I saw that. Yeah, the font that you used in your preview graphics.
Which one? Let me see.
Cool. Can I get the Design Cuts team? Can we update the shiny green button below this video and make it say something snazzy about how it's 50% off? And while Angelina just looks around for the font in question, I want to tell you guys, because this pack is ridiculous value. I believe it is $32 at regular price, which is an absolute steal, but for the first 2 days only. So this is expiring on Thursday. It is $16, which is completely nuts. Had to twist Angelina's arm a little bit to get it for that price, given all the work that she put into it. But yeah, $16, guys, like that is absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, if we could update the lovely green button below the video. And can you guys leave a comment if you've bought it or if you're buying it now? We would love to know so that we can personally thank you. And also, I want to look out for the work you guys are making. So if you have bought it, in fact, can you let us know, or if you're buying it now, and let us know as well in the comments what you plan to make with it, because we really want to know like what projects are going to happen.
So it was Christine who was asking about the font, and I don't have that font on my computer at this moment, so I'll have to get back to you. Is there a way I can get back to her about the font? Someone said Yellow Magician, Johnny, but that was actually the Yellow Magician was used on the previous one.
Cool. Christine, if you could contact our support, we'll put you in touch with Angelina. And make that
I'll let you know. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Look at these comments exploding.
Oh, okay, thank you, Donna.
Yeah, Tom got it. John, don't know if Johnny got it.
Everyone's buying it. So
Albert, Mike.
Thank you, Kimberly. Hopefully it speeds up.
Thank you, Paul. Paul said insane bargain. Almost done downloading. Mark's getting it. Dave.
Russ.
Dina Van Dam. Linda. Stephen.
Albert.
Stephen said he loves your work. Thank you, Stephen.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Fine. Thank you, JJ.
Mark, we got Anna.
Elizabeth.
We got Janet. Kimberly's going to be making some book covers and some promo art. Can't wait to see that.
Trisha. Oh, thanks, guys. Sharon. Thank you, Jonathan. Cool. Wow, you guys are awesome. Bazillion.
And I'm happy to report, like while we've been talking, we've actually over 100 people have just grabbed this pack, which is insane already. We only just like announced this thing.
Sherry, so Spiritual Alchemy. Love it.
So yeah, our team's meant to be looking at the orders coming in live, but it's not loading because you guys are crashing it. This is so cool.
Thank you, Liz. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, David. Mike says, why wouldn't you for $16? I agree. Yeah, like this is not only is this going to make your projects look awesome, whether it's your social media graphics or your website or your client work or your phone case, it's just going to be fun. Even if I never actually did a paid project with this thing, I just want to play around with it. It'll be worth the money just for that. I just want to play around with this thing all day and make stuff look pretty.
Make your own desktop.
Yeah, I was slightly disappointed when you shared your screen. It was like a forest.
I know. It's like
the I wish it was the universe.
I thought about that, but hey, as I was doing it, I thought, oh, this should be a universe, but it's too late.
Jason says he just bought it. He will use it in video backgrounds. That's amazing. Jill says she's going to share it. Go add it to the cart now, Jill, because you don't want to forget. And I don't want anyone to kick themselves. James is buying it now as well. Thank you, James. Heather just wants to play with it. What are you going to bring out next? Wow, says Mark. What are you going to bring out next? This is going to be a big one.
I don't know. I work on many things. I do online courses as well. So I don't know what's next for me. We'll see.
Very cool. Well, maybe a nap after working so hard on this thing. You need a rest. You made yourself sick. You worked so hard on this.
Oh, no. That was from my baby. He got sick. So.
Well, I hope he's doing better.
He's great. Good.
Thank you, though, so much, everyone. Just going to shout out a few more people, and then we're going to get to the final competition.
And she just asked, do I have a YouTube channel? I do. If you just search for Skybox Creative on YouTube, you can find some tutorials for some of the other packs that I have.
Cool. So, guys, if you are thinking about buying it, even if you don't check out now, I would go and add it to your cart, because I don't want anyone to forget, because we get this every single time, where 48 hours later we get emails being like, oh no, I forgot. And by that point it's too late. The price has already gone up. And so you're paying double what you would have if you had just jumped on it. So I definitely recommend add it to the cart now, whether you grab it now or later. It's well worth getting for $16, because this is one of the biggest packs we've ever released. And as Colleen says, it's unique, mesmerizing, gorgeous. I presume she's talking about me there, but the packaging is so very nice, Colleen. So Melissa just grabbed it as well. Thank you,
Melissa. Thank you, Russ.
And Donna says ads, so many sci-fi book ads. I can't wait to see this. I feel like we should have some kind of hashtag. Do you want
we do have hashtags. Yeah.
Do we have a hashtag for this pack? I want to see everyone's work on social media.
Ultimate Universe Creator.
Oh, there you go. That makes complete sense. So, yeah, I'm going to announce the competition in just a second. But
awesome.
A ton of you are going to be on social media, on Instagram, etc. Please post it up all over your social when you start creating fun stuff with this, and use the hashtag Ultimate Universe Creator. Angelina is going to keep an eye on it. I know our team will as well. Please, guys. And also tag us up. So tag up Design Cuts. Or what are we? Are we Design Cuts Deals? I think we are, because someone stole our name. Tag up Design Cuts Deals. Tag up, what is your Instagram, Angelina?
Skybox Creative.
Cool. Okay, so we are Design Cuts. I lied. We have Design Cuts on Instagram. Could the team please post just in the comments section our Instagram as a clickable link and Skybox Creative as a clickable Instagram link? And then if people can tag us up, see your awesome work, but we want to reshare it, so you're going to reach a much bigger audience. So if you're creating space designs, we want to share it all over our stories and shout you out.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what you guys create.
Cool. And CS Lofty just subscribed to your YouTube channel. Everyone should go check it out.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I do some educational content as well for sacred geometry. So for those of you who don't really know much about it, it's really the building blocks of the universe. So my next video I'm going to share is going to be on the flower of life and how it's the foundation for all of creation. So that's going to be really fun, and how energy works, and basically the code of the universe.
See, your packs are deeper than most. I have to say, you always cover like these really like big themes and issues in your work, which I think makes it all the richer.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, if you're still grabbing the pack for this intro discount, do pop it in the chat. We want to thank each and every one of you. But in the meantime, I'm going to share the wonderful competition that we have lined up. So if you are interested in winning $100 in Design Cuts credit to spend wherever you want, you can spend this on our bundles. You can spend it in the marketplace. You can spend it on every other thing in Angelina's shop if you want to. Definitely worth getting your hands on. And the way to enter is we are going to be launching a contest in our Facebook group, and we want to see all of your space designs. So if the team could pop in the chat, it is designcutscommunity.com. Thank you for sharing the YouTube, by the way, Svenja.
Yeah. Sorry, I was copying mine.
So we've just linked to it in the chat. It is the Design Cuts Facebook group. If you want to access it really easily, then simply go to designcutscommunity.com. That takes you directly to the group. Our team can approve you and get you in there, but we're going to have a pinned post there, hopefully very soon. And you can just reply to that with a comment sharing your space designs. And so we want to get as many entries as possible. We want to reshare them all over social and show you guys some love. But we are going to be picking one lucky winner who's going to win that $100.
Amazing. That's so exciting.
Yeah, hopefully, Angelina, if we can get you in the group, if you're not in there already, you can actually check out the designs and hopefully chat with people and comment as well.
I would love to.
Amazing. And Carrie, thank you so much. Chris, thank you so much for grabbing it as well. You guys are awesome. I hope everyone's excited to create some cool things with this pack. It should be fun. The post is up, I've been told. The post is up. So yeah, if we could link again to the group, just Design Cuts community in the chat for everyone to go through. Leave a quick comment if you are going to submit an entry. Don't be shy. No imposter syndrome in this group. This pack is so nice to work with. I'm sure you're going to create some utterly beautiful designs with it. So leave a quick comment if you plan on participating in the contest.
Sacred math. Awesome, Tom.
See, this is where we get the little comment delay going on.
Oh, yeah.
It's the worst, Angelina, if you make a lame joke like I do. And then it's dead air.
You don't know how it lands for 2 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're there looking around.
Crickets.
Okay, yeah, Claire will do. Yeah, let us know in the comments, guys. We want as many people as possible getting involved in this competition. Jay's definitely going to try. Deborah is. Roxana is. Awesome, guys. We can't wait to see what you create. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're actually going to, don't worry, it's Van Frieda. We are going to add every single one of you. So if you request to join the group, you'll get added pretty much immediately. Our team are going to approve you. Approving as we speak. There we go. Awesome. So yeah, definitely give it a go, guys. We want to really share your work and show it some love. And good luck to everyone for the $100 prize.
Yeah.
Oh, have we lost you, Angelina? You've your video's gone slightly.
Oh.
We can hear you though, so that's the main thing. Oh no.
Strange.
It's okay. The main thing is we can hear you. But I just wanted to say a huge thank you for jumping on today. Like that. Obviously, I've really gone through the pack in some detail, but the way you showed it off, like really, shared new opportunities with me, and I can't wait to see how everyone uses it.
Thank you. Yeah, it was so fun. So happy to share with you guys. And if anyone has questions, reach out. But I'm excited to see what you guys create.
Spenya says this was great. Thank you. Thank you guys. We appreciate every single person for jumping on as always. And you guys have been awesome. You've been so vocal in the comments and so supportive. Oh, Angelina's back. Perfect.
I'm back. I changed my Wi-Fi. There we go.
Anne says, thanks for this great morning. And Mike says, thank you for this wonderful resource in the presentation. Jay says, if she had $100 DC credit, her head would explode with the happiness and possibilities.
That's great.
Mark, Angie, Jay, thank you guys.
Oh, thank you all. You guys are great.
Yeah, you're the best community in the world, honestly. In fact, in the universe. Best community in the whole universe. And now you can make your own. So just before we jump off, we can't wait to see you in the group, as SJ just said in the comments. We will see you in there. Can't wait to see what you make. And if you haven't grabbed it yet, definitely go check it out. It is the shiny green button below the video. Last chance to grab it before it goes up very imminently to twice the price. So well worth jumping on there now. Rita says this was so good. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Rita.
We'll post the replay, hopefully in our learn section. It should be, Rita, but if you email the team, if you can't find it, they would love to help you out. Perfect. And yeah, Jay says really helpful because it can be a little bit confusing if you don't understand how to use each pack. Perfect. Yeah. Cool. Thank you again, guys. And Angelina, thank you. You've been an absolute star. We appreciate your time so much today. And thank you for all the amazing work creating this pack.
Thank you. Yeah, and thank you all.
All right. And hopefully we can have you back on one of our weekly hangouts in the future as well.
That'd be great.
We can have more space fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. All right. Take care. I'll talk to you soon. And we will see everyone soon. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.